Oh yeah. Okay. Good morning, beloveds. I'm about on time, which is ironic. I'm on vacation. I'm on vacation. I have nowhere to go today and almost nothing to do today. I have class tonight, the Emma class. And so I'll be back on sometime in the early afternoon because I haven't read the chapter yet. So I will get on and read the chapter. I intended to do it yesterday, and I went to Dickens on Saturday and crashed and burned yesterday. My trainer even canceled me on the gym. So I got to sleep in and got up, did the normal morning stuff, went to service, did the service. And then because Tom's also on vacation, we ran some errands, and then I came home and I crashed out. And the only thing I did last night was the Sunday service, and then went right back to sleep. So, Okay. So we're doing Your Spiritual Power, which is a collection of Ernest Holmes' works. So let's do the housekeeping first. And all the housekeeping is me reminding you, we are Creative Life Spiritual Center. Website is creativelife.org. Constant contact email, info@creativelife.org. If you email that gets you on an email list. You get one email a week, tells you what's going on for the week and the month. The hot links are hot. So if it says click here now, it means it. And it's a blind CC. Nobody's going to see your emails. You won't end up on anybody else's email because of us. The only reason you would get more than one is something unusual happens. Usually that's weather related. We do live pretty close to the Gulf, so our weather can be interesting. But other than that, like I said, it's a real person doing it, and he just doesn't have time for more than that. So, okay, there is all of that. And, social media. I only mentioned the social media from the standpoint of we do not monetize it. We don't want to deal with the ads any more than you do. So what we ask you to do instead is to engage with the pages. So go like, subscribe, share based on which platform you're on, and then engage with the individual posts by reacting, commenting, and sharing the posts. It bumps us in the algorithms. More people see our stuff, which is the goal of social media. So it's a free and easy way that you can support the center. All it costs you is a click. So we'd appreciate it. And we are Creative Life Spiritual Center or Creative Life Spark based on which platform you are on. And I am the running Rev Ryan across all of the platforms. If you ever wonder where these go to live after Facebook deletes them, they go to live on YouTube, but they go to live on the running Rev Ryan YouTube channel. I do have a couple of them on the centers page, like this thing called You and the Emma book. But most of these, they go live on the Running Rev Ryan page. So, all right. Okay. So, like I said, Your Spiritual Power, it says it right here. It's a collection of inspirational writings. It's some of his shorter works, some of his rarer works. You may not find them anywhere else. We just finished this thing. Oh, no, sorry. Living Without Fear, which turned out was a collection of Ernest Holmes' early Science of Mind articles. Today, we are going to start, hang on. I looked at it twice, put the title in, don't remember what it is. Think Your Troubles Away. We're starting with Think Your Troubles Away. There's a foreword, there's an introduction to part 1, and then there's the actual article, which is not that long. So we're about to do them all. Because, like I said, I'm on vacation. I got nowhere to be today. Other than at 6:30 at night, I need to be in class. So, yay. Okay, so, as I said, we are doing Think Your Troubles Away. This is the foreword. This annual Science of Mind magazine is the third of these publications to bring together. Okay, so this is another collection of Ernest Holmes' Science of Mind articles. I really like the tone that he uses in the articles. It really feels like he's sitting across the table from you having a conversation over dinner or coffee. Take your pick. Okay, so again, this annual edition of Science of Mind magazine is the third of these publications to bring together the miscellaneous writings of Ernest Holmes. Once again, the source of this material has been the early issues of Science of Mind magazine, which started publication in 1927. For many years, Dr. Holmes' writings, which appeared in these issues, have been unavailable to the general public. Okay, side note, that is no longer available. Kathy Mastriani, who is the director of the Science of Mind Archives, also Reverend Kathy, went on a hunt to get her hands on every issue of Science of Mind magazine that she could and digitized them. So if you join the archives, you now have access to these. So just, go join the Science of Mind archives. It'll be worth it to you if you really love Ernest Holmes' writings. Okay, let's see. For many years, Dr. Holmes' writings, which have appeared in these issues, have been unavailable to the general public. It is felt that they possess such dynamic quality and spiritual insight that they should be brought to light, becoming a permanent and valuable contribution to the literature dealing with the science of mind. Ernest Holmes was one of the great religious philosophers of our day, and his universal approach to the basic and innate spiritual yearnings of all people won him fame and worldwide recognition. His formulation of the teaching of science of mind cuts across all religious barriers and greatly influences the lives of all who come to know him. His fundamental philosophy is extremely simple, yet it has had a profound and tremendous impact on the thinking of countless people in all walks of life. He claimed no originality for his ideas, but said that they were a synthesis of the best yet learned in humanity's three great fields of inquiry: science, philosophy, and religion. Many others have incorporated his ideas into their own way of thinking and teaching, but here we find, in all their purity, many of the basic concepts which have changed and will continue to change the lives of all those who discover them and use them. Willis Kinnear. I thought his name was William. Willis Kinnear, who was a companion of Ernest towards the end of his life. So definitely one of his students. All right, introduction. You are what you know, and the corollary of that is this: what you now know about yourself is also what you will become. Ooh, that's really good. Okay. I mean, we're starting off with a bang, right? Okay. This idea may be more simply stated by the familiar expression, thoughts are things. And there is more truth in this statement than you may realize. You know that a thought always precedes an act on your part. Also, you know that an idea is first formed in one's mind before some tangible manifestation appears, such as the making of a chair, the building of a bridge, the creation of a big corporation, or even the baking of a cake. Obvious illustrations, to say the least. But, on the other hand, perhaps there is much more involved, much more resulting from your thoughts and your patterns of thinking than you are aware of. Happiness stems from a way of thinking and not from any external factor. Mm-hmm. Happiness is an inside job. Your emotions and their resultant effects are not controlled by outward conditions, but by your inner direction of them. As much as you would like to believe that your state of health is determined by things outside of yourself, you have now been told by leading authorities that even 100% of your physical ailments, in many respects, have their origins in the way you think. And I would agree with him, because the way you think influences the choices that you make, including your choices of environment, your choices of employment, your choices of how you deal with the toxicity of your environment and your employment. And I say that because, like, hairstylists can actually be one of the most toxic jobs out there because of all of the chemicals that they are exposed to in doing their job. If they dye hair or, do any of that, it can be a highly toxic job. So, one, choosing that job, and two, then choosing how to protect yourself from the chemicals that you are using. It is an inside job. It is an inside job. Okay. It might be said that each thought you have, good or bad, is a seed that is planted in fertile soil and grows and produces fruit according to the basic idea embedded in it. Regardless of the nature of your present experience in daily living, in some way or other, you can trace that experience back to a thought seed that you have planted and nourished within your own consciousness. Yes, thoughts are things. So if you find that your life is not all that you would have it be, it becomes necessary to change your patterns of thinking. You need to uproot those undesirable thoughts you have planted and replace them with others more to your liking. This may sound simple, and it is, but in order to do this, there needs to be an understanding of who you are, what you are, and the nature of the universe in which you live. The world in which you live does operate in a harmonious and lawful manner. It is only by understanding the laws of life that you may be able to cooperate with them and use them to your advantage rather than disadvantage. To make full and constructive use of the axiom, thoughts are things, requires that you come to realize that there is a power in the universe greater than you are, and that you can use it. This power can and does always respond to you, but only in the manner in which you actually use it, not in the manner you would just like to have it respond. See, that's really important there. It responds to you in the manner in which you use it, not the way you would prefer it to respond. So if you would prefer it to respond in a certain way, you got to use it in that way. It's like, you got to do some of the work. The material in this volume can show you the ways to so relate yourself to the great spiritual power in the universe that you may come to think in a creative and constructive manner, so that the things in your life are an outward manifestation of your inner thoughts, which you have learned to properly control and direct. In this way, you can come to experience more of the peace, perfection, good, beauty, power, and joy, which resides at the center of what the divine creative source... Okay. In this way, you can come to experience more of the peace, perfection, good, beauty, power, and joy, which reside at the center of that divine creative source of all things. You have problems just like everyone else, but the solving of the troubles is a matter of the way you think. Wrong thinking creates them, right thinking can resolve them and cause them to fade away. Again, Willis Kinnear, because it ends in WK. All right, so this is part 1. New foundations of thinking. For the most part, you seem to be living in an age of turmoil. Well, that's more appropriate than... Okay. Both the external world and your internal world of the mind appear to be in a state of confusion. There seems to be a lack of stability of what to think and what should be a proper reaction to things and events. Dante, come here. Dante. Dante. He's just crying. I don't know why he's crying. I don't know where he is. Dante, come here. Okay. Let's see. State of confusion. But there seems to be a lack of stability of what to think and what should be a proper reaction to things and events. But then most people have felt that way about the period in which they have lived. However, throughout the ages, there have been those who have found enjoyment, peace, and contentment in spite of the condition of the world around them. What they have been able to discover, you can discover. But the secret, if there is any, lies in the fundamental, basic mental attitude you are able to establish. Your mind needs a firm, intelligent, and emotionally satisfying concept of the nature of life and a recognition of your position in it and relationship to it. It is your basic concepts in this respect that will color all of your thinking, that determine the nature of your thoughts, which become the things in your life which enable you to adequately deal with all of your problems. What's the matter, baby? In the ideas advanced in the following pages, you will find a surety and a security on which you can build a better life. So the first article, because we are now actually getting to the first article, is called A New Idea. Whew. That we are entering a new cycle of experience is certain. It is impossible to pick up any periodical of the day without noting some evidence of change of thought that is without noticing. Okay. We're just going to start over, because that we are entering a new cycle of experience is certain. It is impossible to pick up any periodical of the day without noting some evidence of the change of thought that is going on. We hear the new psychology, the new science, the new religion, the new universe. What does this mean, and where is it leading us? Has the faith of our forebears been shattered on the rocks of cold science? Has the shock which religion has suffered in recent years undermined our spiritual forces? Has our new philosophy solved the riddle of the universe? Are we lost in the fog of speculative theories? Is anything left that is certain? What can we believe? On all sides, these questions are being asked, and whoever finds a reasonable answer will have the world for an audience. There is no lack of interest. Life, hope, and love are still the dominant factors in people's thoughts. God may be a myth, but people still long for divine guidance. Immortality may be an illusion, but people still hope that the future will not be an oblivion. Religion may be a mental hallucination, but people still have a mystic sense of reality, an intuitive perception of something higher. Aspiration may have turned into the ashes of dead hopes, but the urge to go on still pushes us forward. Science may have failed to find the ultimate cause, but people still sense an invisible presence. The age-old question, unanswered, still stimulates the interest. From whence the spirit, whither bound the soul? It is impossible to avoid the issue. We are so constituted that we must go on. We cannot stop. People have always believed in some kind of God and in some type of Savior. They still believe. The will to believe is our strongest passion, our greatest incentive, our constant source of inspiration. Can we, by searching, find God? We have looked everywhere. The search has been intense, exhilarating, persistent. But have we found God? Some will answer yes, and others no. Those who answer yes have the right to be heard, as well as those who answer no. But no, both are sincere, and each is motivated by the same purpose, necessity. Anyone who doubts that the quest of humanity is after God is unacquainted with the human mind. The two great desires of humanity are for unity with the spirit and for realization of immortality. Okay, that's an interesting thought. Let's see. Besides these, all of the other desires sink into utter insignificance. To question this is to admit a profound ignorance of the workings of people's thought. Can such a universal demand be without a foundation in reality? If we have failed to find God or failed to realize the eternity of our own being, may it not be because we have failed to realize that what God and existence mean. Okay, wow. Like, he's really going for the jugular here, isn't he? God is not a person, yet God is more than a principle. The creative insistence of the universe, the emotional background of all incentive is God, the urge and the act, the thinker and that which is thought, the conceiver and the conceived. Cause and effect are but two sides of the same coin. Who looks for God is a person. Hang on. Wait. Who looks for God as a person must look into the personification. The universe may be impersonal as law and as essence, but it is forever personifying itself. It is revealed in creation. Okay. Only the one who loves comprehends the meaning and the depth of love. Love declares itself through its personification. It is known by its works. It is as real as we make it. It is not a platitude, but a divine passion. If we would know God as love, we must become love. Alrighty then. Those who have done this claim to know God as love. Dare we deny the validity of this claim? Can the coldly practical sense of the divine emotion of a love which proceeds from a fundamental unity and includes the entire creation as a manifestation of one central cause? Wait, I think I left out a word because that sentence did not make sense. Let's try that again. Can the coldly skeptical sense the divine emotion of a love which proceeds from the fundamental unity and includes the entire creation as a manifestation of one central cause? That makes more sense. Could we love the individual unless we have some inner awareness existing prior to the advent of the individual? The possibility of love existed before its expression, or it never could have evolved. The greatest lovers have ever been the most godlike. If we would look for a God of love, we must look long and deeply into each other. We must look away from the differences until we penetrate into the unity of the whole. Love alone reveals love. Hate but hides the gleam. Wow. Hate but hides the gleam. Depression and sadness do not reveal a universe of joy. We betray our spontaneity to the traitor of indifference and cry aloud that enthusiasm is dead and hope gone. The zest of life loses its keen edge to the coldly analytical. Mathematics may be necessary in comparing distances or in counting marbles, but mathematics alone will never fire the heart of the average person with the joy of imagination. The laughter of the universe is not heard when the blood is cold. Warmth and color respond to their own and take no cognizance of their opposites. If we would know a God of joy, we must become joyful. God is distant to the unbeliever, unknown to those who are not acquainted with it. The Spirit may court us, but if we would be wed, we must first be wooed. There is no marriage without both bride and bridegroom and mutual consent. The prophets of every age have declared the unity of God and humanity, but they have been among those who have entered in. Dare we deny the reality of their experience, the truth of their message? We would have peace, but we still persist in remaining in confusion. The one is the opposite of the other. Cosmos does not affiliate with chaos. Some find peace, while others find only confusion. we shall yet learn that each finds what they are truly looking for. Well, that is the truth. It's called confirmation bias. Okay, neither here nor there. But if you're curious, look it up. If we would find the more abundant life, we must live more abundantly. Life cannot be separated from living, and whatever the nature of God or life is, this nature must be one with our nature. Else, how could we be? When we enter into the spirit of livingness, we enter into the spirit of God, for creator and creation are one. Life and animation are latent in all things. When the creative power of our imagination stirs this latent energy into action, there is a responding chord struck in our everyday experiences. We find that we are surrounded by life. Truly, did the great mystic proclaim that he is not the God of the dead, but the living, for all live unto him. Which, if you're curious, that was a quote from Jesus. If God is life, and if life is God, and if God and life are one and the same thing, how can we expect to become conscious of immortality while we contemplate death? Okay. All right. How can we expect to become conscious of immortality while we contemplate death? That's a heck of a question. All are externally alive unto the creative spirit of the universe. The persistent urge to express is a continuous demand which the original life makes upon us. It is God, the essence, passing through the thinker into action. How can we expect to find beauty if we contemplate only unloveliness? The God of beauty is understood by the artist who appreciates the beautiful and senses in all forms some reflection of that universal wholeness, which finds harmony in the perfect adjustment of itself to all of its parts. Beauty, like greatness, is a thing of the soul, a spiritual quality, outlined in form, objectified in space. It is externally imaged in the mind. God must be truth. The universe could not lie to itself. Truth, crushed to earth, shall rise again. Now I wonder who he just quoted there, because it's in quotes. That's a quote. Truth, crushed to the earth, shall rise again. You know what? I would guess Emerson, but I don't know for sure. I may Google it and find out. Okay. If we would understand God as truth, we must be truthful. The lie is a mask, a masquerade. The irresistible desire which all people have to find the good life arises from an intuitive perception which already knows not only that God is, but that God is present with humanity. The kingdom of heaven must be a state wherein one senses their unity with good, the unity of all people with good. This kingdom is as distant from us as is our sense of isolation from it. It is as near to us as our belief and corresponding act will permit. The kingdom of heaven is not a place, but a state of consciousness. God is not a person, but an essence. And humanity proclaims that this essence and atmosphere is personal, and so it is. But in this way, personal to us, through us. Ooh, okay. Each person in this sense may approach ultimate reality and say, "'Tis me. It is," oh no, hang on. I don't know where I'm going. Each person in this sense may approach ultimate reality and say, "To me, it is personal. Through me, it is personified." The sense of the necessity of some mediator between God and humanity finds its answer in the responsiveness of our own soul to the universal perfection. The mediator is our own belief, our own thought, our own conviction, our own action. Wow. Okay. I think that's one of the things that drove me out of Catholicism. I was raised loosely Catholic, military Catholic, to be real specific. And just the fact that there was Jesus and Mary and all of the saints and the entire priesthood between me and God, I just never could buy. I was like, if I want to talk to God, I can go directly to God. I don't need the priest. I don't need the saints. I don't need Mary. I don't need Jesus. It's wonderful, and they're wonderful, and that all the lessons and the lives that they lead are great, but I don't need to go through them to get to God. I can go directly to God, and that's what he just said. The mediator is our own belief, our own thought, our own conviction, our own action. If you believe you can go directly to God, then you can. And that is how God is personified through us. As the mind cannot isolate itself from itself or separate itself from itself, so it cannot inject into itself a mind which is not itself, or which is unlike itself, or which is other than itself. Hence it is written, I myself am heaven and hell. Again, quote, I don't know where it's from. I'm curious now. The mediator or savior, which all people have felt a need of, is already within. The only thing standing between the essence and the atmosphere of spirit and its personification through humanity and in creation is recognition. The fruits of right belief have always fallen from the tree of faith. We need have no superstition about the results of prayer, faith, or inner awareness. This is the way the universe responds to us, and the response is in accord with law. For the universe is built on the action of immutable law. How far or to what extent we may approach this depends upon our ability to believe and to receive. Wow, way to pack it all in the last two paragraphs there. Depends upon our ability to believe and to receive. Yep, that would be Ernest. So tomorrow we will pick up with a new faith. All right. Wow. I just heard the timer go off. That means breakfast is ready. So I'm going to wrap this up because I smell bacon. So I'm going to encourage you to have a great day, a wondrous day, a fantastic day, a magical day, an enchanted day, a wonder-filled day, an amazing day, and do whatever in the heck you want to do today, day. Like I said, I'm on vacation. A take care of yourself day, a cuddle your fur babies day, a bundle up, it's a little cool here day, a tell somebody you love them day, an eat something amazing day, a listen to some amazing music day, a read something good and fun day. You can do both. Because like I said, I'll be back in a little bit to do the Emma chapter that I need for class tonight. Whatever it is you want to do today, day, a good day. And if that is too much pressure, because occasionally it is, simply have a day. You are enough, just as you are. You are a beloved expression of the divine. You are spirit in motion, God in action, a brilliant light, and a divine spark, a beautiful masterpiece, and a work in progress at the same time, at your own pace. And as Reverend Jesse likes to call us, you are a godly. All right, beloveds. Explore the truth of your being. Get to know who the divine knows you to be, because the divine knows you to be good. And from there, anything at all is possible. All right. Reverend David should be on around 5 p.m. with you. Like I said, I'll be back sometime today to do the Emma chapter. I got to give myself at least an hour to do that. So probably early afternoon, like around 1. And then I'll be back with you around 9. Probably, I don't know. I'm going to Galveston. I'm planning to go to Galveston tomorrow So, yeah, we're looking at that. But I will do this. If I get up a little extra early, I don't know. So I will do this tomorrow. I just don't know what time. Take care of yourself. Know that you are loved. And I will see you next time.